Silver prices have been on a wild ride this year, and this past week was no exception. Going into the holiday weekend, silver was trading at over $60 an ounce. Many viewers of Golden Crest Finance had predicted that once the markets reopened after the holiday, prices would crash again. That did not happen. Instead, when trading resumed, silver was sitting at $62.56 an ounce. This might sound calm compared to what came before it. Just 1 month earlier, silver had reached a massive peak of $87 an ounce. That means the price has dropped by $25 in just a few weeks. For anyone trying to buy or sell silver, this kind of swing makes decisions difficult. People do not know if they are buying at a good time or bad time because the price keeps moving so fast. This instability has made life hard for everyday silver stackers. Many people want to add silver to their savings, but they feel nervous. They remember silver at $87, and now they see it near $62. They wonder if it will drop further, or if it might jump back up again. This uncertainty causes many buyers to hesitate. To understand what is happening on the ground, Golden Crest Finance spoke with Josh, a coin dealer from Minot Coin and Bullion. Josh explained that his shop had a very busy week before the holiday. He said there was strong traffic both in his store and online, with many buyers coming in. However, he noted that very few people were selling their silver. Interestingly, the few people who did sell had an unusual reason. Several customers told Josh they were selling their silver to raise money for fireworks. One man, a father of 4 young children, said he needed the cash for his kids. He seemed to explain this to himself as much as to Josh, saying more than once that it was for the children. Meanwhile, the buyers who came in during the lower prices were often repeat customers. Josh said many of the same people who bought silver at $80, $90, and even $100 were now happy to buy again in the high 50s and low 60s. They saw the lower price as a chance to add more silver to their collection. However, Josh also noticed that sales slowed down later in the week. This happened around the same time that silver crossed back over the $60 mark. Some buyers seemed to hesitate once the price rose above that number. They may have been hoping for another dip below $60 before buying again. This pattern shows how sensitive buyers have become to price levels. Even a small increase, like crossing from $59 to $60, can change buyer behavior. People often set a mental limit for what they are willing to pay, and once the price crosses that limit, they wait. At the same time, the wide swings in price are not the only frustration for silver buyers. Many shoppers have also noticed huge differences in the extra fees, called premiums, that different coin shops charge. Golden Crest Finance highlighted this problem last week after calling coin shops across the country to compare prices. The results were surprising. If someone spent $2,400 at the best shop, they could get 38 ounces of silver. At the worst shop, with the same amount of money and the same spot price, they would only get 34 ounces. That is a difference worth $240, just depending on which shop someone chooses to visit. Josh, the dealer from Minot Coin and Bullion, was asked directly about this gap. He did not make excuses. Instead, he gave an honest answer. He said the difference comes down to business models. Some shops run their business one way, and other shops run it completely differently, and that changes what they charge their customers. Josh explained that younger dealers, including himself, tend to use technology and social media much more than older dealers. He said this gives younger dealers a better understanding of where prices should be at any given moment. They can check prices quickly, compare with other dealers, and adjust their own pricing to stay competitive and fair. Older dealers, Josh said, often do not use this kind of technology as much. Many of them rely on a simpler method. They look at what they originally paid for a piece of silver, then add a fixed amount on top of that price to decide what to charge. Josh said these dealers often are not thinking about what it would cost to replace that silver today. They're only thinking about their original purchase price. This difference in approach can create large price gaps between shops. A shop that checks daily wholesale prices and adjusts quickly will likely offer a fairer price to customers. A shop that simply adds a fixed markup to an old purchase price may end up charging much more, especially during times when silver prices are moving quickly, like they have been in recent weeks. Josh also pointed out another reason for these differences. Some shops do not have direct access to a wholesaler. Instead, they depend on regular people walking in to sell them silver, or they buy extra stock from other dealers. This can make their costs higher, which then gets passed on to the customer. Josh summarized the issue simply. He said the industry is in an age where information is easy to find, but not every coin dealer uses that information. Some dealers stay updated with wholesale prices and market changes every single day. Others do not check as often or do not have systems in place to track it closely. Because of this, shoppers can see big differences in prices depending on which shop they choose to visit. When asked if this might change over time, Josh said he hopes it will. He explained that as older dealers eventually retire or as some pass away, there needs to be a new generation of dealers ready to take their place. Without new people entering the business, he worries the coin dealing hobby and industry could slowly fade away. Josh believes there are already many younger dealers entering the field. These newer dealers tend to understand technology well. They know how to network with other dealers, and they understand ideas like replacement cost, which means always knowing what it would cost to buy back the same item today. Josh said this generational shift may already be happening, even if most everyday customers will not notice much of a difference right away. He added that most people will only notice a change if a new dealer opens in their area with a completely different approach than the shop they normally use. For now, though, the gap between old-style pricing and new-style pricing remains part of the market. One of the clearest changes happening right now is the shift from buying silver in person to buying it online. Josh explained that a decade ago, there were far fewer ways to purchase silver. Today, someone can sit on their couch, watch television, and buy silver at the same time. There are now hundreds and sometimes thousands of options for where to purchase silver online. This shift brings both benefits and challenges. For buyers, it means more choices and often more convenience. They can compare prices from many sellers without leaving their home. But for traditional brick-and-mortar coin shops, this shift creates real pressure, and these shops depend heavily on customers walking through their doors. And when more people choose to shop online instead, it can hurt the business of local shops that do not adapt. Josh admitted that this exact challenge applies to his own business. He said that 18 months ago, his shop did not even have a website. Since then, his online sales have grown into a major part of his overall business. He said his shop still does more business in person than online, but the online side has become an important piece that did not exist for him before. He believes that dealers who learn to use technology and make it easy for customers to buy, whether in person or online, will be better positioned for the future. This change also raises questions about trust and privacy. Some customers have told Golden Crest Finance that they do not feel comfortable buying silver online. They worry about giving out personal information over the internet. Josh said he personally has not heard many customers express this concern directly. In fact, he said many of his in-store customers also buy from him online and simply pick up their orders in the shop. Still, this concern exists for some segment of buyers, especially among people who may be less familiar with online shopping or more cautious about sharing financial details digitally. Josh said he believes it is a real concern for some people, even if it does not seem to be stopping the overall growth of online silver sales. Large online marketplaces and major bullion dealers continue to do steady business, showing that most buyers are comfortable making this shift. There's also a generational piece to this story. As mentioned earlier, older dealers who are less familiar with technology may eventually retire or leave the business if they are not replaced by dealers who understand both fair pricing and modern technology. Some worry the industry could shrink over time. On the other hand, if enough younger dealers enter the field, the industry could become more transparent, with pricing gaps between shops slowly narrowing as more dealers use real-time market information. For everyday buyers, this mix of changes means it may become more important than ever to compare shops before making a purchase, whether online or in person. The instability in silver prices, combined with the wide range of premiums charged by different dealers, means that shopping around can make a real financial difference. As shown by the earlier comparison, choosing one shop over another could mean the difference between 34 ounces and 38 ounces of silver for the same amount of money. At the same time, this story is not just about numbers. It also reflects real people making real decisions. Some are cautiously buying silver during price dips, hoping to grow their savings over time. Others, like the father mentioned earlier, are selling small amounts of silver for short-term needs, such as raising money for fireworks with his children. Together, these different choices show how personal and varied people's relationships with silver can be, even during the same week, in the same market, and sometimes even in the same coin shop. As this week begins, silver remains just above $61 an ounce. Many buyers and sellers are watching closely to see whether the price will hold steady in the 60s, or whether it will dip back under $60, a level that several buyers have said would encourage them to purchase more. Josh, the dealer from Minot Coin and Bullion, said he would personally like to see a stable week ahead. He explained that constant swings of $3 or $4 a day can wear people down. When prices move that much in a single day, some buyers lose confidence and hesitate to put more money into silver at all. Josh added that slow, steady growth would likely be healthier for the market than sharp jumps followed by sudden drops. He also said that if prices settled somewhere in the 50s rather than the 60s, it would likely bring more buyers back into the market, since many people have mentally set $60 as their limit for now. Viewers of Golden Crest Finance may be asking themselves similar questions. Would they feel more comfortable buying silver if prices settled into a steady pattern, even if that pattern was in the 50s rather than the 60s? Or would they rather see prices push higher, even if that means more unpredictable swings along the way? These are not easy questions, and there is no single right answer. Each person's approach depends on their own goals, whether they are saving for the long term or watching for short-term opportunities. There is also the ongoing question of dealer pricing. As more buyers become aware of the wide gaps between coin shops, some may begin shopping around more carefully before making a purchase. Comparing prices at a few different shops, whether online or in person, could help buyers avoid paying unnecessary premiums. This does not mean every local coin shop is charging unfair prices. Instead, it means that pricing methods vary widely across the industry, and buyers who take a little extra time may find real savings. Looking further ahead, the shift toward online buying is likely to continue growing. More coin shops may follow Josh's example by building stronger online platforms alongside their physical stores. At the same time, questions about privacy and trust in online purchases will likely remain part of the conversation for some buyers, even as the majority continue to shop online without hesitation. The generational change within the coin dealing industry is also something to watch in the coming years. As experienced dealers retire, the entrance of younger, technology-focused dealers may help create more consistency in pricing across the country. Whether this shift happens quickly or slowly, it could shape how easy or difficult it becomes for everyday people to find fair prices when buying or selling silver. For now, the most useful step any silver buyer or seller can take is to stay informed. Watching daily price movements, comparing premiums between shops, and understanding why prices differ can all help someone make smarter decisions with their money. Golden Crest Finance will continue to bring updates on these changes as they unfold, including future conversations with dealers across the country. Silver's story this year has been one of sharp highs, steep drops, and everyday people trying to make sense of it all. From a father selling silver for his children's fireworks to buyers eagerly returning after a price dip, this market touches real lives in real ways. Whatever happens next in the coming weeks, one thing remains clear. Silver continues to hold the attention of collectors, savers, and everyday families alike. Thank you for spending this time with Golden Crest Finance. Stay steady, stay informed, and we will see you in the next update.